update on how Isaac's progressing?
Nope, he's day to day.
Okay.
That's all.
And then obviously with tomorrow's game, kind of like what's the mindset of like getting guys minutes with like a week ahead of you guys, but also not like having to run guys from the ground, I guess.
It's a combination of both of those things. Trying to provide individuals an opportunity to keep a rhythm. Some guys are still dealing with some things and want to make sure they're healthy going into this week. So, but everybody or those who play will get, a balanced amount of minutes. No one should have to get too many reps.
Would you classify today as a practice day?
Today was a practice day.
Yep. Did Isaac practice?
Isaac did not practice today.
Was he the only one that did not practice?
For basketball reasons, yes.
Okay. How about for non-basketball reasons? We didn't practice.
I'll leave that off the record.
All right. And then for you guys, obviously you have the game tomorrow against Charlotte, but then the playoffs right around the corner. How much of your preparation have you done for the Knicks at this point?
Quite a bit. Obviously we don't skip steps and disrespect anybody. So we have different people who have different responsibilities. So tomorrow's game, is still will get the respect that it deserves. So our guys will be prepared for it as well. But you have to start. You have to start preparing things, and we're working on booklets and analytic packets and videos and all those things that you have to start with. We've been fortunate to kind of know who our opponent was going to be, so we could delegate that stuff to get us at a good spot when we need to start.
Because obviously the Knicks with Julius is kind of more in the air with Kobe around, do you guys have to like kind of plan for both scenarios? Like, this is what they look like with Julius, this is what they look like with Julius.
Yeah, we do. Again, you can't go into their injury book, so you don't know what he's doing every single day. They're not going to let on to what he's doing. So you do have to be prepared for both. We were fortunate enough to have film of us with him and without him, so we can see a little bit. There was plenty of games where he didn't play and games where he did. So, we'll be prepared, but you do have to, prepare as if he's going to play, and then have your option if he's not.
We've talked about the season and like kind of game by game. We've always talked about how like the focus is on you guys, but how does that kind of switch in the playoffs? Because you do know you're facing your opponent for a stretch of games. So it's like, what's the balance of like focus on what you guys are doing, but also against you?
Well, I think you still focus on what you do because that's what got you here. But what you can do is you focus on what you do versus this particular team, right? So where we've had successes, where we've had areas where we need to improve, and those things versus, their personnel versus their set versus their tendencies. So again, you still have to continue to focus on you because, you've got to be the best version of yourself still. But you know what you're facing. You know how your opponent's going to guard certain things. Again, what their strengths are and what their tendencies are.
What has impressed you most Isaiah this season? I know he's had a really strong night against Orlando the other night, but just his whole body of work this year, what has impressed you most?
The consistency of it all. There hasn't been, a lot of ups and downs, but also, he's taken that challenge to get better. He wasn't, playing in G League games as a frustrated guy. He was going down there and talking to Mike G. He was a culture setter. He was a leader. And, those are all things that we value. And again, that's difficult because there are so many transactions, but he still found a way to lead. He found a way to set the culture.
And what were the green pennies today?
We just did more team stuff, so we broke them down into smaller groups.
J.B., the Knicks, I think, pass the least amount of any team in the NBA. When you're preparing for a team like that that's so different than other teams, what's the greatest challenge in that, and what's the key to handling that kind of offense?
It comes down to personnel, right? And really, really understanding tendencies, understanding spots on the floor, and then the guys that are around the isolations. I think that's, where we try to live anyway with our defense is, studying guys' strengths, their weaknesses. How do we, without stepping outside of ourselves, put them in a position of weakness instead of position of strength. But again, they've got some really good individual players that can put a ton of pressure on you. And although it may not be a lot of ball movement, they're a selfless team. So when you do come and help, they're very willing to make those driving kicks. So I think, it's a little that's a little misleading because, they break you down and then they share it as opposed to a lot of false motion.
It's the key to keeping them off the glass, though, because obviously that was a big one.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be physical, and you got to be physical early. I think, matchups are going to dictate a lot of that. How do you keep Mitchell Robinson off the glass? Randall, all those guys, they're smalls that crash. Josh Hart does a really good job from the perimeter. So it's going to come down to the physicality, which a lot of the playoffs is about.
If the playoffs were to start tomorrow rather than facing Charlotte, do you think Isaac would be able to go, or is it just day-to-day?
He's day-to-day. I couldn't give you, an answer on that, to be honest.
One regular season game left, JB. What would you say that you learned about yourself as a head coach this season?
That's it's tough because I really don't take the time to think about myself during the season. Everything that we try to do is about the team. It's about the guys and putting the best, performance on the floor that we can every single night. So, really wait until the summer to kind of sit back and think about the season and kind of understand, where you were good, where you need to improve. But, I am happy, with the environment that's been created here. I enjoy coming to work with these guys every single day, and I think as a coaching staff, that's kind of what we've bred. So if there was one thing, I would say that's something we could hang our hat on.